Good morning to Keith Robinson and good morning to everybody. This morning we are going to have a chat about statins and cholesterol. So, Keith, I know you have a lot of experience in dealing with both of these issues from the years of cardiovascular screening that you did. So, I'm going to hand over to you and I'm looking forward to you sharing your information with us.
Yes, thanks, Sinead. It is a very important area that I think most people do no research on. I happen
Mm,
to have done lots of research. And back in the days when I was doing cardiovascular screenings, every time I came across somebody that had excessive stiffness in their arteries, in other words, that lost their flexibility,
mhm.
they, they always told me, oh, by the way, I have high cholesterol. And then later, when we got the arterial system cleaned and the flexibility back, they always told me my cholesterol's come down. So,
Right.
and I mean, cholesterol is a word that everybody is trained to be fearful of.
Yes.
I mean, kids know the word cholesterol. Kids know that there's something, they've been taught that there's something wrong with it. But the more research you do into cholesterol, the more you realize we can't live without it.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
cholesterol is needed to make hormones, to make bile acids. 87% of every cell in your body is built from cholesterol. How are you going to build cells if you don't
Mhm.
have enough? But,
Absolutely.
but what I pieced together is that the reasons people's cholesterol is gone up a bit when you have excessive stiffness in the arteries is because when the flexibility is gone, the heart pumps blood, the arteries try and flex, but because they've lost their flexibility, they get tiny cracks and tears in the arterial system.
Mhm.
The body's response is to instruct the liver to increase cholesterol production to go in and seal the cracks and tears so you don't bleed out.
Yeah.
Now, approximately 90% of your cholesterol is manufactured in your liver. You're going to get
Mhm.
in some from your foods, and whatever you get in from your foods, your liver has to make the rest.
Okay.
So if you have, say, 10% coming in from your food sources and your liver has to make 90%, and let's say you go on a low fat diet, stay away from the
Yeah.
fats, and now you only have 5% coming in from your foods, so your liver has to make 95%.
Mhm.
But in my tin pot way of thinking, why why is the liver going to make more cholesterol than is required?
Yeah.
The body has its own intelligence. It knows what to do, it knows what to make, it knows what it has to deal with. So if you have this level of cholesterol required to make hormones, bile acids, build cells, now you have stiffness in the arteries and the liver has to make a bit extra, of course your cholesterol is going to go up.
Mhm.
But it's
Yes.
required.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, also, you have a protective layer around the brain called the myelin. You
Mhm.
have a protective shield around your spinal cord called the myelin sheath. What's
Yes.
that made from? Cholesterol and fats.
Wow.
Now, if the body needs to repair the myelin, what's the liver instructed to do? Make a bit more.
Yes. Yeah.
Cannot repair
Mhm.
the myelin without cholesterol.
Mhm.
Now your cholesterol's up here, but everyone's telling you it should be down here.
Yeah.
So what did they do then? They put them on a statin drug.
Mhm.
What does a statin drug do? Tells your liver not to listen to your body and bring the production back down here.
Mhm.
How in the name of creation can the body do all the jobs cholesterol is required for when it doesn't have enough?
Mhm. It doesn't have the fuel effectively to do it.
It can't. It doesn't have enough
Mhm.
to make hormones, bile acids, build
Yeah.
cells. It doesn't have enough to seal the cracks and tears. It doesn't have enough to even think about starting to repair the myelin.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what we're going to have? Mayhem.
Hmm.
And now your messaging has to pass through the myelin of the brain.
Hmm.
But if you can't keep the myelin repaired, aren't the messages going to get messed up?
Yes. Yeah.
What are those people going to be called? Dementia and Alzheimer's sufferers.
Right. Yeah. Which, of course, we know has gone through the roof. It's a
Gone
huge
through the roof.
problem.
Statin use
Yeah.
is through the roof also.
Hmm.
So even
Hmm.
though there's a level, so-called level being set for people, oh, your cholesterol needs to be down here.
Hmm.
In actual fact, it should be up here
Yes.
to do all the jobs that it's supposed to do. But what did I find out when I was doing vascular screenings and we got the flexibility back into the arteries? The cholesterol came back down again.
Wow. Naturally.
Naturally, because
Yeah.
there wasn't the extra cholesterol being asked to be made to seal the cracks and tears, because there was no more cracks and tears, because the
Yes.
flexibility was back because of the cleaning of the arterial
Yeah.
system.
Yes. And all that makes perfect sense. But nobody, I think nobody stops and thinks really about, the function of cholesterol the way you have described it there.
Well, because I think it's been designed to have people fearful.
Hmm.
But you have
Mm.
fabulous cardiologists like Asim Malhotra out there
Yes.
screaming this from the rooftops.
Yes. And he
There,
has been doing that since 2014, I think, Keith, actually, to
he
be fair
has
to him.
been doing that for a long time, and there's
Yeah.
several other honest medical
Yes.
people who are telling the story correctly.
Yes. Yeah. Hmm.
But
Absolutely.
they're under huge attack by an
Hmm.
industry that makes savage profit, fooling
Yes.
people into thinking they need something which is actually harming them.
Yes. And that is the important thing for people to understand, you know. And, that whole thing about the low fat diet has done so much harm as well.
Yeah, I think that's been again the same. It's the same
Hmm.
push to cause
Hmm.
health issues. And here's another: not only is your liver going to make less cholesterol, there's another major side effect, and that is your liver manufactures an enzyme called coenzyme Q10. It is the
Hmm.
power source to your cells.
Yeah.
Now, when you're on a statin drug, your liver makes less coenzyme Q10.
Yes.
This is why
And
there's so many side effects to the statins, because you're not making enough CoQ10. I believe it's in Canada that if a doctor prescribes a statin drug, they must prescribe CoQ10 for that person as well to counteract having
okay.
a lack of it.
Yes. And also, isn't it the case that if you've had a stent fitted, that you also need CoQ10 because the stent prevents that production?
I'm not aware of that, but
That's my
when
understanding.
people mention stents, I think
Mm.
of a stent solves a quarter of an inch of 100,000 miles.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yes, you can open up that particular spot, but
Mm.
your original problem was a
Isn't
lack of nitric
just that.
oxide production, because you would have all the
Yes.
time kept the arterial system clean and you would never need to prop open that little spot.
Yes. And of course, I think even though primarily we're focusing on statins
Yep.
and cholesterol, but just because you mentioned nitric oxide, I do think that, it is no harm to reiterate how important it is that our bodies are producing nitric oxide.
Yeah. Um, an average person manufactures between 1 and 3 seconds worth of nitric oxide.
Hmm.
One person in two has natural blockers to nitric oxide production, which would be asymmetric dimethylarginine is a blocker, myeloperoxidase is a blocker, and they inhibit nitric oxide production. So they will make less than the average.
Yeah.
So they're behind the eight ball completely, because if the average 1 to 3 seconds isn't enough, those people are way behind. Uh,
Yes.
and you have to work out how to manufacture enough nitric oxide. So you reverse that problem. You then make enough to start cleaning the arterial system and reversing the problem that was there probably for many, many years, getting worse and worse and worse,
Mm,
causing the increased cholesterol production, causing the increased blood pressure, and everything that goes with that, with lack of organ function the way it should be because of a lack of blood flow. All of these,
yeah,
all of those things are caused from a lack of nitric oxide production, and that's where our flagship product, Pro 9 Plus, comes in because that solves that problem.
absolutely. And, I have to say, I'm a testimony, so are you, but like, and that's not because we're selling the products, but because of genuinely the benefits to my health that I have experienced by taking it, in terms of having a CAC score, which is the coronary artery calcium score of zero point 0.5.
Exactly.
Um, and like as I've said before, the guy who recommended that I have that scan done, he's more than 20 years younger than me and his score was 30. And
Yeah.
30 is a very decent score. But like for me to have a score of zero point 0.5, I believe, like, it's truly amazing. And I'm very grateful to have come across Synergy Worldwide 4 years ago and to have the benefit of their products,
When
because touch wood, my health is very good.
when I was doing the vascular screening, um, the average arterial system for a 20-year-old male is 54% stiffness. I
Right.
actually got mine down below 33% stiffness.
At what age?
At the time, that would have been in my 50s at the time
But
when I was
still,
doing
like,
that, in my late 50s. Yeah.
yeah, but that's still very, very significant.
Oh, like it's huge. I mean,
Yeah,
you're never going to see that if you're testing anybody.
yeah,
But I've tested people who are in their 30s and have arterial system of somebody's 60s and 70s.
wow. And there's never a mention really about arterial stiffness.
No, because
Yeah,
they're not thinking that way. They're thinking test the blood, put them on medications.
yes, yeah.
But you have
And
to
you
go
know
back a
what's,
step. Why is it that way?
yeah,
What's causing it? Why is the
yes,
body been asked to do that? What the body
mm,
doesn't do things for fun. It does it because
yeah,
it's the best thing to do for it.
yes, yeah, absolutely. And you know what, I found really interesting? I've spoken before about Gary Brecka, and he's a fantastic guy, very authentic, very genuinely wanting to help people get to better health. But he spoke about his wife going for, I'm sure it was for an angiogram,
Hmm.
but they put dye into her body, and she had a very, very extreme reaction to that. That
Yeah,
really floored her.
yeah.
So the CAC scan, the coronary artery calcium scan, is very good from that point of view because it's really short. It only takes probably less than 10 minutes, and it's safe and it's non-invasive.
Mm.
So I thought that was really interesting to know about the angiogram.
So it's safe and effective, unlike a lot of
Yes,
other things that are touted
yes,
to be safe
exactly,
and effective.
exactly. So I think at that we can wrap this up, Keith. Is there anything else you feel we should include
We'll keep the rest for some for the next one.
for the next day? Yeah. Okay. Perfect. So if anybody is interested in, getting more information about ProRG9 or, getting in touch with us, feel free to message us in the comments.